It's the Cool Kids Club. You've been invited to the Cool Kids Club. It's so exciting, yeah. Justin likes monsters, yeah. And Amy likes words in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cool Kids Club. This is episode 111. 111?
Mhm.
That feels good.
It does feel good.
That feels good, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Amy. I'm one of your hosts.
Hey, Amy, I'm Justin. I'm the other one.
Hey, brother of mine, how's it going?
Shoo, it's going pretty good. You know, it's summer and it's hot.
It's
It's
hot
very
shit.
hot, and I'm
It's
just
very-
trying to honestly stay inside because, if you're clicked on this episode, you know we're talking about summer toys, and
Mhm.
getting this episode together just kind of really made me realize that like summer sucks as an adult. Like
Well, there's no summer break.
there's no. I still have to
Mhm.
keep going to work every
Mhm.
day. That's
In-
bullshit.
In your regular clothes, you got to put regular and try to look presentable.
I have
You
to
know, in
wear
the summer
long
as a
pants
kid-
at work every
In
day.
summer as a kid, it was like, throw some shorts and some flippy floppies on and like go walk around the neighborhood. Like there was no, you didn't have to look presentable. You could
There
be
was
a little,
freedom. There was freedom.
We used to be a country.
Oh, wow.
We won't even get into that, but yeah. And that's a great topic for 4th of July. It's freedom. And
The freedom to attack your friends with high power
high
squirt
power.
guns.
Honestly, painful. It's painful.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're putting our cart before the horse. I have
shit.
something
Oh shit.
before we get into
Okay.
the toys.
The toys of summer.
Yeah, you think we could get you think April could do a rendition of that or something for the end of the episode? Or
I can ask. You know, I've never heard her Don Henley chops, but I could certainly
you
ask.
think you
I'm
could get Don on the horn?
let me give Don a call.
Yeah, close
Mr.
personal friend.
Mr. Henley.
Old man Henley's boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to
Anyway, what the hell else do you
Yeah.
want to say to me?
All right. Before we get started, I want to talk to you about you have been recently digitizing our home movies.
Yeah.
Which is something you've wanted to do for a really long time.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, or well, you've done that, and then you have moved on to some wrestling.
Yeah.
And now you have moved on to just kind of like well, you're digitizing programming blocks or things we've gotten off of television.
I have a whole. Actually, as I'm sitting here, I can see my
Mhm.
whole big box full of VHS tapes
Mm.
that I've had in storage for years, and I've been
Mhm.
wanting to do this for years, and I finally bit the bullet and bought the stuff and learned how to do it, and it's super
Yeah.
easy. And yeah, so I started with our home movies, of course,
Yeah.
and got
Yeah.
all those digitized. And I think at some point, you know, maybe I'll clip some of that and we could
Ooh.
post some of that on social media, like the actual Cool Kid
Oh my
childhood.
God. A peek behind the curtain.
A peek behind the curtain. Hey,
You know what
there's one I found that's
Mhm.
like our dad giving a tour of our childhood house. So he comes
Yes.
into my bedroom and says, "Here's Justin in his bedroom. Show me your bedroom." And I do. And
I
then he goes
mean,
and does the same with you. And
It's
it's just
almost
like,
as
wow.
if he knew that 30 years later,
Uh-huh. I'd
I
be clipping
mean-
it and using it for social media clout.
he'd say, "What's social media?"
What is social media?
What do
It sounds
you mean?
horrible. Well, it is.
Well, you're right. It's the best and worst thing that's ever happened.
No, it's just the worst.
Hey,
No, but I have, so I did the home movies first. And I found a lot of stuff like with my friends too, not just from like our family, but a lot of like my junior high friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff
So
that
Brian
I have
Higgins
found some stuff
Wakefield.
that frankly I didn't even know existed on tape until I have found it.
Are you going to post some without pants stuff?
Oh, well, maybe.
Well, maybe
That will be the
Some-
ultimate episode if we can get a reunion of that.
I won't even be in it. It's just
No.
you guys.
You could be the moderator.
Oh, okay. That's got to be a Justin. We should do a live, like
There you go.
because
No one has any idea what we're talking about except for like the 4 other people in that group. When I
yeah,
was
you
in
have
junior
mentioned
high.
without pants.
We
on
have
this
talked
pod,
about
but it's a
without
deep
pants.
cut.
It's a deep cut.
Well, I
It's a
bring
deep
it
cut.
up.
Anyway.
I bring it up because Brian Higgins Wakefield,
Also without pants.
Robert, who's been on our pod,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
And 2
Casey
other
w-
gentlemen who have not been on our pod.
Casey was not in it.
It was Wes and Andrew.
Andy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people you don't know, listeners.
But you do know some of them.
You do know some of them. But I have, so I did all that, and then I've moved on to stuff that was recorded off TV.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. I am surprised at how much I'm having fun with it. I guess I shouldn't be, because this is really kind of my wheelhouse.
A natural thing for you. I'm really surprised you haven't done it sooner.
Yeah, frankly, I should have done this years ago. But some stuff is labeled on the tape, but some stuff's not. So I'll just put it in and hit play and record it all and just see what happens. So I've been taking a lot of these just long programming blocks of stuff that was recorded off TV in the 90s and even the early 2000s. And I've been ripping commercials and posting those on our YouTube channel. So all of a sudden, the Cool Kids Club YouTube channel is kind of alive.
Yeah.
It has actual other stuff besides just the episodes. So
it's really popping off.
It's popping off. Well, so if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, which we don't ever promote, here I am promoting it. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel. I've got probably 6 or 7 up right now. I've got more kind of coming in the future. I've got a bunch more tapes to go through. So it's going to be an ongoing project. And boy, there's something so fun. There's just these wonderful little time capsules. I have programming blocks of TBS, Superstation TBS from 1993 or 1990.
You got any Dinner and a Movie with Annabelle Gish?
Oh, not yet. But I got a lot of tapes here, so who knows? I'll tell you what I did get the other day, which as we record this, I just posted today on our social media and on our YouTube channel. It ended up being a little over an hour of, I don't remember recording this at all, but it was probably 3 or 4 hour block of MTV that I was able to determine is from September 2000. And so the commercials from that block are on our YouTube channel now and on our social media.
God.
But Amy, I wanted to let you know what was the programming that I cut out that I didn't put on YouTube for copyright.
You got some
reasons.
TRL in there?
No TRL. It was 120 minutes. I don't know if you remember that show. It's it was it's like a 2-hour music video block. And they'll have kind of mini interviews with artists and little segments, and then show music videos. And they've got, I don't even know the guy who's hosting it.
Oh man.
So a bunch of music videos, an episode of The Real World New Orleans.
Okay.
And Amy, my favorite, and I think it's also going to be yours, the very first episode of MTV's Fear.
What?
Yes. I don't think we've ever talked about Fear on the podcast.
So far away when I feel the state into my veins.
I loved that show. If you don't remember Fear, it was awesome. It was like a reality show, quote unquote, when reality shows were kind of first a thing.
Hey, I've watched a few episodes of those, I think, on YouTube or something.
I was watching this one the other day as I was taping it. I was like, oh, you know what? This still rules. I still love it. The first episode. So come over sometime, Amy.
Oh my God. We're going to watch Fear.
We'll do a Discord and just show the first episode of Fear with commercials from 2000.
Oh.
With just you and me going,
yeah, you won't be able to hear the episode. It'll just
not at all. It'll just be my droning Godsmack impression for an hour.
Oh God.
So anyway, yes, I've been doing that. We've got a bunch of retro content going up on social media, on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel because I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I'm finding a lot of fun stuff, and I'm going to share as much of it as I can with you guys.
Man, this is incredible. I'm so glad you're doing this. I'm gonna go and watch our own YouTube channel and catch all this stuff.
I know, right? Now there's other stuff that obviously I can't post because of copyright. Last night I ripped the original live broadcast from Viewers Choice pay-per-view of WrestleMania 9.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I've got several wrestling tapes stacked up here. So I'm excited because I know some of those have pre-shows and stuff recorded on there.
Oh yeah, they do.
You know they do. And plus you get the original, like a lot of times with old wrestling like that, the new versions like that are available on streaming will have certain music dubbed over.
Oh yeah, like they didn't have the rights or something.
Yeah, so having the original live broadcast is really cool because you get everything the way it exactly was.
The way God intended.
The way God intended WrestleMania 9 to be
intended.
Fucking good one.
I feel like I have to put my chin back and go,
It eventually just turns into one long drone where there's no actual words and it's just me going.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about
this. Makes for good podcasting. Let me tell you.
Listen, the listeners, they love it.
I stand by it.
It's a good podcast. We're 10, 11 minutes in. We've not even talked.
No, but we've talked VHS. But that's not what we're actually here to talk about.
It isn't.
It's hot as shit outside. It is July. God. We
Justin,
are
we're in the midst of a terrible heat wave.
As we record this, we're halfway through the year today.
Oh my God.
We are halfway through the year today, which means we are also today halfway through the decade. Are you okay?
Nope.
No. You want to know something else?
Mm-hmm.
As of today, we are officially closer to the year 2050 than we are to the year 2000. As of today.
I need to go lie down.
I need to take a knee.
Oh my God. I need to go speak to my Tamagotchi about this.
I felt like I just got punched in the gut when I read that.
All right. Well,
hey, as we continue on our inevitable march toward the grave, let's talk about Super Soakers.
It will be here closer than we think. Let's talk about Super Soakers. The end is nigh. Oh, how about those big wheels?
You know what's my preferred way of cooling down in the summer instead of the icy hand of death on your shoulder? A Super Soaker.
Super Soaker.
Slip and slide. No, we are here to talk about the toys of summer.
Dan, I gotta give it to you. Props to you, Justin, for coming up with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that took a lot of work. That took a lot of work.
Well, but I mean, it's so perfect.
It is. I wanted to highlight those toys, the outside toys that I feel like kind of define summer, and there's a shitload of them. So we've kind of narrowed it down a little bit, and are going to talk about a couple.
Just a couple, yeah.
So I've got the four big boys that I want to talk about.
Your heavy hitters, if you will.
Your heavy hitters. And then I've got a bunch of honorable mentions, which are kind of like the smaller little things that, I might not have a lot to say about them, but I want to talk about them for a few minutes.
Yeah. And a couple of those have really caused me to have some nostalgasms.
Oh, well, I didn't want or need to know that, but I'm glad.
Well, not real ones, nostalgasms. Those are the good kind. Yeah. Look, well, do you want to kick it off by talking about probably the one of two like most popular water toys of our
I mean, this is it, I think. Like,
yeah.
The first one up is the Super Soaker, right? So
yeah.
The Super Soaker came of age with us, right? The first time, so it was originally called the Power Drencher.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible, terrible name.
Yeah.
In 1990, and then 1991, they rebranded as Super Soaker and had some classic commercials.
Oh my God.
Do you remember the kid? And actually, you probably remember because I posted it on social media earlier this week. The kid dresses as Terminator, and he gets revenge on the bullies. He goes inside and puts on he dresses like Arnold and comes out with a Super Soaker 50.
I just want to point out, water guns existed, of course, before.
No shit.
No, I know. But I'm trying to say,
this isn't a water gun.
That's what I'm saying. Water guns existed, right? They were little, like, pithy little...
Just little, the little plastic ones. Yeah.
This took that, and it thought, hey, you know how annoying it is when your friend hits you with a water gun? And you're like, yeah. And they were like, what if he just was able to just basically take a water hose, Like they were like, let's take a water hose and a water gun and make that into one thing. And
Super
help your
Soaker
friends with it.
technology is so impressive because how'd
truly
they do
is.
that? How'd they
How
get that
did
water to
they
come out of
do
there so
that?
fast? Boy, it's like the wasp spray that you can like you have to get like
Spray from
you have to
50
get
feet
like
away.
15 feet away.
I bet
Yeah,
it's the same
I mean,
mechanism.
holy shit. And I mean it only got bigger and better as time went on.
Oh, but you'd pump the jam, pump it up.
You pump up the jam. So for me, and I remember having one.
Okay, yes.
Of the original line of like Super Soakers, not the Power Drencher, but once they changed the name to Super Soaker, there were 3 of them. So that was there was the 30, and I have put pictures in the notes here for your benefit to freshen your memory. So the 30 was kind of like the pistol sized one. Now, I remember it being like orange with the yellow kind of tube, though. I think they also had them in purple, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
To me, the GOAT Super Soaker.
Yeah.
And the one that we absolutely had as a kid, that was my first Super Soaker, was the Super Soaker 50.
100%. The yellow with the green.
The yellow, the
reservoir.
neon yellow. And that was another thing with Super Soakers is you had the really cool commercials with the kids and the colors. Damn colors. The packaging is like very 80s and early 90s and it's colorful.
Yeah.
The gun itself is neon yellow and neon green.
It's with like orange accents. Trigger.
Yes. And actually, so I know that no one at home can see this, but the picture that we have here is Laramie. They have their logo on the gun, which is the original company that made it.
Oh, really?
And pretty quickly, I think they were bought by Hasbro.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, because Super Soaker still exists. They still make them under the Nerf brand, which I believe is Hasbro. So
okay, yeah.
But no, so the Super Soaker 50, that was the GOAT.
It was a little bit better than the original little pistol, but it was not quite the Super Soaker 100.
Now go ahead and pop us on. We have several commercials for these toys. So go ahead and pop us on the Super Soaker 100 commercial. Now this one here, this is your big boy.
Yeah, there's your big boy.
Did I forget to invite you to the pool party? Well, maybe next year.
On those occasions when you need to make a big splash, there's the Super Soaker 100. It has a powerful air pressure system.
Oh, Buffy!
A range of up to 60 feet. And a drenching spray. The Super Soaker 100.
It's a water gun of a higher caliber.
Also the 50, or the ultimate, the 200.
Now that one boasts that there is a 200.
Oh, yeah, they kept going. 200?
200?
A Super Soaker 200?
That said that 100 had a range of 60 feet.
Man, this one, the theme that I notice in these commercials is revenge. It's a lot of like we have been denied entry to the pool party. We're getting bullied. And that
we're gonna dress as the Blues Brothers and sneak in
and attack this party with high pressure water guns.
Yeah.
I mean 60 feet, they're shooting over that pool.
I mean, they can honestly just kind of go over the fence and just.
They don't even need to break in. Yeah,
they don't. No, they don't.
I'd probably feel pretty good though if they just made it rain on you.
Oh, you wouldn't know where it was coming from.
You'd be like, ooh.
Because it was like the kind of pool party where everybody's just standing around the pool. Like the girls don't want to get their hair wet. So this was.
So there's a lot of good revenge to be had. So obviously there is all kinds of Super Soakers. It expands into all sorts of craziness. They had the ones, I don't know if you remember, with they had the ones with like the multiple tanks like in a row on top. They had the ones with the tanks you wore on your back like a Ghostbuster.
It gets to, it's like fucking Predator. It's like you're hunting the Predator.
It is, and then you would have like turf wars,
Yeah. I think and that's really what it was the tanks kept getting bigger because you didn't want to have to refill your fucking Super Soaker all the time. Because your brother, he's spraying you right in the face with a, and then you got to go and refill the tank. It's not great.
It was great for me.
Yeah, it was great for you.
There's one in particular, Amy, that I want to talk about though. That's not one of the originals.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Oozinator?
I am not. Are
okay,
you?
so well, unfortunately, I am.
Oh
so, boy. It's not something that's really going to translate well on an audio medium. But let's just pop this commercial up real quick and take a gander and just tell me your thoughts when you've watched it. Like, what do you see happening in this Oozinator commercial?
All right.
What do you call the new water and ooze blasting Oozinator?
Oh, yeah! Blech!
Gross!
Ew! Disgusting!
And of course,
Awesome!
the new Oozinator blaster from Super Soaker. Major pumping required. Refilled sold separately.
I'm sorry.
So talk to me, Amy. Well, first of all, the Oozinator looks cool as shit.
Yeah, it's like some Godzilla.
It looks like some kind of alien ray gun technology or something.
So
that's not the issue.
No, but there are many. You already got to pump a Super Soaker, so it's already a little suggestive. But then you're oozing your friends with this sticky.
It's not water.
Kind of clear, whitish substance.
Mm-hmm.
Very reminiscent of something else.
Yeah.
It's
just right.
Kids are like rubbing it all like. That kid was like, ew, and like.
Very uncomfortable.
It's like they made the guns for children somehow more inappropriate.
What if the guns shot cum?
Cum guns.
Coming new from Super Soaker.
Coming this summer. Yeah.
Oh. That's
gross.
It's very gross. Also, why would you want to do that? Water, fine. I'll get sprayed with water. That dries.
I don't want to get sprayed with mystery ooze.
I don't want to get
and I don't
sprayed with your synthetic ejaculate.
Oh my god!
Get out of here! Get out of here, Super Soaker!
Get out of here! Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move past it.
Yeah, let's move on because the next thing that I want to talk about is I've got a couple aquatic toys here. For me, it's like the non-aquatic toys, the dry toys, as I like to call them. They were harder to come up with. The water ones, it was like boom, Super Soaker, slip and slide. That's it.
Yeah,
those are the two big.
Those are the two. Yeah.
Amy, when's the last time you did a slip and slide? Have you ever done slip and slide? I assume you have at some point.
I remember doing them or doing one in our parents' friends, Bill and Barb.
Oh yeah.
In their backyard with their son Josh.
Uh-huh.
Many, many moons ago. I remember doing, and that was probably the last time.
Well, it probably is going to be the last time.
It should be the last
your life.
time.
Slip and slide has been around since the 60s, so that this is not new to our generation.
No.
But no, I mean, if you are somehow unfamiliar with a slip and slide, it's all it is like a lubed up, slippy plastic sheet that spurts water out at you. It's a spurty, it's a spurty, slippery sheet that you run and you hurl your body at it. At full speed at the ground.
I mean, you're just throwing your body on the ground.
It basically only really works for kids because like by the time you're a teenager, you're probably too heavy, just your body's too big. And so you'll just fucking like if I tried to do this,
oh my god,
it would be just my face, like you would see an imprint of my face in the ground. Like in Ernest Goes to Camp when he gets hit with the cafeteria tray.
Yeah.
It would just my face would be, you'd have to like pull me out before I suffocated.
Yeah. And it would just be, instead of sliding, you just go right.
It would just be
right into the ground.
That's it.
Yeah. Like just imagine rowing your adult sized body down and forward. Like you're diving, but into no water.
Yeah. Yes.
You're diving into the hard ground.
You're taking a running dive.
You're
'Cause
running.
You got to build up momentum.
And here's the thing. I can remember doing the slip and slide, but I probably was like, like I can't dive to this day because like a mental block of like throwing, even though I know it's water, like putting myself like, like ass over head. I can't do it. So the slip and slide was really, that was never something I enjoyed.
Yeah, and you would inevitably have rocks
Oh, Justin.
or pine cones, but of course, like
Mhm.
rocks were the worst.
Mhm,
I mean, I feel like that was like a childhood rite of passage, is like cracking something on a rock
mhm.
under an
You-
ill-placed slip and
You
slide.
were going to get hurt. Like,
Oh
it
yeah,
was just a matter of were you going to go to the hospital or were you just going to like bust your knee open on a rock?
yeah.
Like, you were going to get hurt. The whole point of the game is injury.
It was just, when I think of slip and like actually doing a slip and slide,
Mhm.
I think water, which then creates a bunch of mud
Uh-huh.
and then mixes with a bunch of children's blood.
The blood of children.
Just the mud and the blood
I
of
feel
the
like
slip and slide.
you're probably good for like one slide each for like your kids, and then it's like, all right, it's done. The yard
done.
the yard is muddy. My brother's
My
broken
yard
his
is
arm.
ruined.
Well, and
The
that's
children
thing
are
is,
injured.
for the parents, it's like you got to find a spot that's nice and flat. You got to
Yeah.
move all the rocks and the pine cones. You got to like
You got to move the hose. You got to run the hose over there.
you got to run the
hook
hose.
up to it.
You got to hammer the things into the ground. No wonder our parents.
Yeah.
don't-
Also,
I mean,
you're like it's staked into the ground, so there's a
Oh, yeah.
chance you're going to hit those stakes too.
there's- Justin, who came up with this?
It was Robert Carrier. I have it in the notes. His name was Robert Carrier, and it was first manufactured by Whammo in 1961.
Whammo!
Whammo, which is
Um,
the greatest name for a toy company ever.
I mean,
That's
is,
one of the
yeah.
legendary toy companies, but I mean,
Mhm.
perfect toy company name.
Well, and now I know that, a lot of people would say, a lot of parents probably would say, I ain't buying that. That's just a tarp.
Well, you don't
And they
need
could
it. I
just
mean,
make
because
their
you-
own, what we would call the redneck slip and slide,
Oh,
which
I
is
think probably more people did that
Mhm.
than bought the real thing. I mean, you
which is
needed
a tarp.
water, and like Dawn
I was gonna say, and some dish liquid.
dish liquid. Yeah.
Stake it into the ground.
Now I do remember going to
Appalachian
a
Emergency
party as
Room.
an adult where people were doing a slip and slide down a hill, and it
Uh-huh.
definitely ended in injury and blood.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
I didn't do it. I just watched,
Same.
and I went home unscathed.
Yep. I said, not for me. Not today, Satan.
Not today, slip and slide.
Nope.
But it was a
not
redneck
gonna-
slip and slide. It was a tarp and
Sure. Yeah.
Dawn said.
Yeah. I've done that. Yeah. So, and listeners out there, curious, what injuries did you sustain? Because everyone sustained something.
Yeah.
You went
And
down
if
there.
And if you say you don't, you're lying. You're a
Yeah,
liar.
you're lying. You've just never done it.
Now, of course, slip and slide did have while slip and slide, like we said, is not new to our generation, the 80s and
Mhm.
90s. Its Australian cousin definitely was, and that was Crocodile Mile.
Now that's a slip and slide. Oh no, I gotta walk. I gotta work on it. I've been trying to.
That
I'm
was
wor- I'm
pretty
work-
good. That was
I'm
pretty
working-
good.
I'm workshopping my Australian accent for no reason whatsoever with Justin, and he's really beloved here in the development.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
Crocodile
it's a-
Mile was basically
the
the same thing,
Crocodile.
but it
Yeah.
did have the splash pool at the end.
Well, because you needed something to soothe the burns and scrapes and
And by splash
Compound
pool,
fractures.
I mean it's a puddle.
It's
It's
a
not an
puddle of
actual-
blood
It's not going to
by
help
the end.
you with it. It's a puddle of blood.
Hey mate, what do you do when you see a crocodile?
You run, you slide, you hit the pump and take a dive.
It's Crocodile Mile, the great new water slide with splashdown pool. And the incredible boomerang bump that sends you flying. But watch out for the crocs.
You run, you slide, you hit the pump and take a dive.
Crocodile Mile with boomerang bump and giant splashdown pool. New from Marshall.
Now, this has a boomerang bump, as if you're not going fast enough sliding down your yard.
It's got a
On
little
a,
bump.
it's got a bump to send you flying into the air into
into
puddle of
theoretically the
blood.
mouth of the crocodile, which is on this little thing that drapes down.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that's the little splash pool, which is just a puddle.
I would almost rather
Die.
get eaten by a crocodile. It would be the same amount of injury, I feel like, if there were a real crocodile involved.
Oh, you're really underselling a crocodile here. But I get your point. I get the
Mhm.
spirit of what you're trying to say.
I mean, a crocodile, he might snap my neck immediately and I might die. I mean, like,
Yeah,
that's possible.
It's not going to be a great way to go. I'm
It's
still
not.
going to go with
There's this.
I'm still going to go with Crocodile Mile. Now I don't think I never did Crocodile Mile that I can recall.
No, I don't think I knew anyone with Crocodile Mile.
But I honestly know it from the commercials because they were everywhere.
Yes, it was a big deal. Yeah. Yeah, and it was just like a puddle. Like in the
It's
a little kiddie pool kind of attached to the back of it.
The kiddie pool's being generous. It was not
very small, very small.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it was different times, man. I mean,
Well,
you could
and
just
again, I'm like,
throw a sheet on the ground and lube it up and just fucking hurl your kids at it.
hurry your children. Yeah.
Yeah, just ass over tea kettle down the lubie down the lubie sheet.
I mean, our mother understandably did not want us to get hurt. And now, like, as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know why would I have wanted to do that. Even then, I didn't super want to do it. It was just peer pressure. I mean, I just don't, I'm not very adventurous when it comes to that.
It comes to everything. Yeah.
I know. Now, let's talk about some dry toys. So maybe
the dry toys.
Yeah, maybe you didn't have access to a slip and slide. Maybe your parents didn't buy you any super soakers. So what are you doing if you got if you're on dry land?
Well,
what kind of stuff would you be playing with?
I was trying to think of I mean, obviously there's different sports and games and kind of things that you would do during the summer, and obviously like beach toys and pool toys, are kind of their own sort of subgenre. But and these
not
two things, they kind of go
beach
together a little, I feel like, and I do feel like they're both sort of, well, the one in particular, the first one, I feel like is really geared toward boys. Which I was thinking of vehicles, and I was like, I want to talk about RC cars, because the 80s and 90s were just the absolute peak of RC cars. Talk about having commercials everywhere. It was like, I didn't have most of these. I had a small handful, like one or two RC cars, and my friends had some. But the commercials, particularly Tyco.
Oh my God, they were... I mean, for every commercial break, you had at least 2 RC car commercials.
Oh, everywhere. They were everywhere.
Unleash the Typhoon, the only 9.6V radio-controlled hovercraft in the world. The Typhoon hovercraft blasts over the ground on a cushion of air. You command the Typhoon by radio control. 3 powerful turbo motors for straight-line speed. Do a 360. Now, Typhoon hits the water. Incredible. The RC that runs on land and water. Typhoon. You've got the turbo power to handle anything. Typhoon and Mini Typhoon, the only 9.6V radio-controlled hovercrafts in the world from Tyco.
Yeah, and they all had, so like in the I feel like RC cars really became a thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
By the 90s, it was like everything had to have a gimmick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or had to have an IP, with it, or something.
So the Tyco Typhoon. Now that one, you'll know it if you see it, because it's the hovercraft. And I never had it, but holy shit. What I would have done, that goes on land and water. It's got like the airboat fans on the back. What? Awesome. The one, I've got some pictures in here. These are other things that I want to, like, just them colors. Like,
I know.
Like the Baja Bandit. That one is like just beautiful. Neon green and orange. The Hammer is again neon yellow. Like these all had a gimmick. You had one of the ones I remember the most is the Rebound, which it had the big puffy tires, and it could flip over itself, and so you could just do anything with it. Like it would just you would just run it into shit and it would like flip and it would always find
Flip
it. So like
right back
you
over.
couldn't flip it upside down because if you flipped it upside down, it's the same on one side as the other. So you just
Oh,
oh yeah,
it would rebound. You see,
it would rebound. Hence the name. Hence the name.
Hence the name.
Yeah, what's the one
definitely
that was
RC
like
cars.
the animal or something. I want to say I don't know that I have it in the notes, but it had like its gimmick was it had these like claw things that came out of the tires.
What?
Like yeah, you could like make them come out, and basically it was like the gimmick was like it'll basically go over anything. Like you could climb terrain.
Yeah,
and they actually worked. I remember like that. It really did work pretty well.
Oh my
and it was
God.
wild looking. Like these like claw things would come out of the tires, and you could
you
just
could,
like
you
climb
could do it
up
up
the
like
rocks.
rock or something.
Like it would like grip things like fingers would.
That's crazy.
Yeah, RC cars were
Oh,
just
man.
the absolute shit. Now, the main time I got to play with RC cars in my life was years later in my 20s when I worked at Radio Shack.
Oh, that's right.
So Radio Shack in the 80s and the 90s they were the king of RC cars. That was one of the things we went to Radio Shack for. And granted, I wasn't working. I worked there years later. But we still had the RC cars, and man, we would go out on like when the boss wasn't there, because we would always have like we would get some, especially as it got closer to Christmas, we'd get a lot of stuff in, and they'd want us to take some out for display purposes and let
you and my
kids.
husband, right? Because you worked there together with Scott.
Yeah,
playing
and
RC cars.
Yeah, we would take them out when the boss wasn't there, and sometimes when the boss was there. And it was Radio Shack in like the 2000s, so
no
wasn't
one
busy.
was there.
No one was
except
there.
They were buying.
We
RC
would just
cars
we would just go jump them off curbs and take them up behind the store, and oh yeah, we had all kinds of fun.
Oh man,
yeah, I love me some RC cars. That's something I'm like, I could see me getting into that, which is exactly why I don't need to do that.
Maybe that's something for your retirement. Maybe you're gonna get really into RC cars.
And then the next thing you know, I have 250 RC cars.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that can't happen. That can't.
Well, listen, this last one, I feel like this is
the white whale.
The white whale. This is the end all be all. If you had one of these, you were rich, probably.
At least to child me, you were rich.
To child me, right. That meant you you owned Disney movies in the clamshell, and you had a Power Wheels.
I'm sorry. I think it's actually pronounced Pow Pow Power Wheels.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Pow Pow Power Wheels. Oh my
Man.
God! We never had a Power Wheel. We were too common. We were common folk. We couldn't afford Power Wheels.
And when I look back, I'm like, I mean, it was probably just like middle class people had Power Wheels, but
Yeah, trust me, rich people didn't go to our school. So.
We weren't allowed to look at them. They were in a different building entirely.
But yeah, this was the absolute. And I think for a lot of kids, like this was the white whale. This was like, I feel like for most kids probably didn't have them. For most kids, that was the white whale.
Yeah.
And if you did have one, you were just the subject of a lot of jealousy.
Power Wheels! Come on, let's go! Sitting tall in my Power Wheels, star of the show.
Pow pow.
Power Wheels, Power Wheels! Now I'm driving for real. They got real live motors, got a grown-up feel. In my Power Wheels, I'm driving for real.
Pow pow.
Power Wheels!
Pow pow.
Power Wheels, Power Wheels! King of the road! The real Power Wheels, each sold separately. What a way to go!
Because holy shit, like there was no cooler toy.
You couldn't tell me
that was like pretty much the pinnacle of toys as far as I'm concerned in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
The Power Wheel. If you had one of those, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And there were all kinds of them. There were all sorts of
You were allowed at 4 years old to drive a car.
Yeah. And
you were out there
and they were
the roads.
RC cars were pretty much marketed to boys.
Yeah.
But Power Wheels, it spanned both sexes.
Oh, those
genders.
Barbie Jeeps.
There was. So I'm gonna assume what if you had a Power Wheel, which I could get a Power Wheel today. Couldn't fit in it, but I could buy it.
I couldn't fit in it then. It It was like, even if we had the money and mom had got me a Power Wheel,
It would just collapse under you, like the tires
I was
would
already
shoot out the
5
side.
feet tall at like 6 years old. I'll always, and this is a side note, but it is related. I'll always remember my preschool field day. It was like a relay thing. Like we had to, you had to run, and then you had to do this, and then and the last leg of it was big wheel. You had to ride a big wheel.
Oh yeah.
And my legs were too fucking long at 5 years old to ride the big wheel. I literally
Were you just
kept
kneeing
stopping.
yourself in the chin?
Yeah, correct. So, and I remember like mom and dad are like watching and cheering, and I can't get going because I'm fucking kneeing myself in the face.
Gangly, just
God damn
lurching forward.
So honestly, thanks, Mom. I didn't need a Power Wheels because I'd have gotten it and been so excited and would have been able to fit in it.
That would have been a waste of money.
Waste of your hard-earned money. So you know what? It's
okay.
fine.
So, but if you weren't,
yeah,
so monolithic and and fitted a Power Wheel.
Shut up.
What would have been your? I'm guessing Barbie Corvette.
It's Barbie. It's Barbie Jeep, actually.
It's Barbie Jeep. Okay.
Fucking Barbie Jeep. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your one. So now Jeep. I know what to look for Christmas for you this year.
Yeah.
But
maybe I can put one of the cats.
I was gonna say you could put the cats in there.
Oh God, that would be cute.
Now for me, I think it begins and ends with Bigfoot, the monster.
Well,
truck.
It's got to, yeah.
One day, Amy, we're gonna do a monster truck episode. That's on my list to do. Like monster trucks, cool as shit, man. I went to a monster truck show with Dad.
I was gonna say, what if we went to a monster truck show? And then
I would definitely do that. I did when I was a kid.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And they had I think they had a couple monster truck Power Wheels, but Bigfoot was the best. Bigfoot was the king of the monster trucks. And as far as I'm concerned, Bigfoot was the king of the Power Wheels too.
Yeah.
And it looked exactly like it. They ran on the rechargeable batteries. Just jealousy. Just jealousy. Still to this day. You would go. I just wanted to share this photo with you. Again, not going to translate super well.
Oh God! Well, you have to post this on social.
I'll post this online, but this is from a Toys R Us at some point in what appears to be maybe the 80s. There's a Little Mermaid one. So
it's got to be 89 or later.
So
yeah,
at least 89. Yeah. And there's Bigfoot down at the bottom, and like another truck and a car and I don't know, like a John Deere.
Yeah.
And then that Little Mermaid car. Look at the colors on that Little Mermaid car.
God damn it!
Ocean blue, purple, pink, like that is made for you.
It is made for me. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, it's like a Polly Pocket, but a car.
I'd have to have my legs hanging out the side, but yeah, right. I'd have to be side saddling.
Just maybe I should look into Power Wheels. I could at least put the cats in there and ride them around the yard.
I mean,
I could also get an RC car and strap them out there and drive them. I can drive them around the yard.
Now Neville would crush an RC car.
Well, no, he's my good boy.
He
lost 2 pounds. 2 pounds. I'm so proud of him.
Him's a good boy. The bestest. The best. Now, there are, if we didn't talk about one of your faves, understandable, but we've got some honorable mentions for you before we wrap it all up. You want to give us some of these honorable mentions, Justin?
Well, we'll start with the wet ones.
Sure. And then get to the dry ones.
We'll get to the dry mentions. Well, I had on here water bombs or splash balls. They were they still make these, of course.
Yeah.
Boy, there was just nothing like
getting hit.
Yeah.
The fucking
there's nothing like doing like a majestic, dive and you're like underwater and you're like, I'm a fucking mermaid right now. Look at how graceful I'm moving through the water. And then you surface and it's all majestic. And then you get cracked in the temple by your asshole friend by like a soaking wet a water bomb that weighs like 30 pounds.
It is so heavy and
rattles
dense,
your brain.
Fucking dense ass.
Oh, they just absorb as much water as they can, and then it's a weapon.
And then you throw them at your friends. They're like, it becomes like a squish toy, and then you get it wet, and then it's like a baseball.
Yeah.
And then you throw it, and then you throw it Full stop.
at your
It's
friend's
like,
temples.
At your friend's face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Break their glasses. Yeah, obviously you had water balloons. You had all those kind of like pool toys, you know, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got the diving rings.
Oh yeah, all kinds of like
mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean pool noodles and stuff like that.
And you got a
Water
noodle.
balloons, I think, are classic.
Sure.
That again, it's all fun and games, and then someone gets hit in the face. Usually it's Amy, and she starts crying, and it's over. And then mom's mad at me, and so
Classic. Was that straight out
Classic.
of a home video or what?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you
They
were
had the
just
sprinkler toys too, which
I was just about to
I don't
say.
remember having sprinkler toys,
Mm-mm.
but we had sprinklers. So
I mean, the
same
sprinkler is the
thing.
toy. You don't need.
That's
Just
sprinkler
walk through it. Run
like
through
really
it.
water bug or crazy daisy or something is
Mhm.
just you attach it to the sprinkler
Mhm.
and it continues to do what sprinklers do, which is
It
shoot
just
water.
looks like it's made for kids.
And then you run around and you
Yeah.
scream.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the toy.
That's the toy.
That's the toy. It was simpler times.
It was.
Now, Amy, I want you to talk about Skip It because you had to skip it.
I had to skip it. I loved my skip it. Now that was a real ankle crusher.
Oh, just demolish your shins.
And just those, you want to crack that ankle bone, that outside ankle bone real good. You just
right
want to
directly on it.
see fucking
The
stars.
kind where it's like your vision goes red for a second.
Like the most pain your 6-year-old body has ever experienced.
Now, what would you? Okay, you have to choose. Do you take a water bomb to the face, or do you take a skip it at full speed to like the ankle or the
I
shin?
think I'd rather the water bomb.
Yeah, maybe because boy, the
skip
skip
it,
it has
how'd you hit
no
that?
give.
You're going so fast too. No, it's fucking hard plastic. Like at least the water bomb is like,
Yeah,
you know.
at least I'm in a pool, so how sad could I be?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. God, we took that for granted. Now I'm like, somebody let me in your pool, Yeah, no, the skip it, if you're unfamiliar, it was
That was a Tiger. I think we talked
was
about
a
it a little bit during our Tiger
I
electronics.
think we did, yes. And it had like you could just stand in place and it was like
It wasn't tricking you into exercising, really.
Yeah, it was like a
tricking you into
big
doing
giant
cardio.
pedometer. Yeah, that tricked you into doing cardio, and you tied you had one little circle you'd put around your ankle, and then you would just skip over the other one, and it would
your
count.
shackle. You put the shackle.
Your shackle. It is very ball and chain. If I could get one around my big adult foot now, I would do it. That sounds like a great way to do a little bit of cardio.
With Amy, you would crack your bones. You would be covered in bruises 10 minutes in.
Here's what would happen
You'd have lumps rising up like fucking Looney Tunes, like the Wile E. Coyote.
Justin, before I was ever even able to crack a shin, I would come down wrong on that foot and roll my ankle and fall forward and scrape both my knees, my face, my hands. I wouldn't even have a chance to crack an ankle.
I don't think you wouldn't get one skip before you absolutely wrecked your shit. Like grievous injury.
I think I could get 5 skips.
You think you could get 5 skips?
I think I could get 5 skips. How many you think you could get?
I could probably. I don't know. It's been a while since I skipped.
See, there it is.
Yeah,
but you're just in place.
Yeah,
it's easier when you're just standing in place.
I mean, I'd have to get kind of a minute to get in
hop.
the groove of it, but I think I could go. I think I could go for 10 or more.
It was like pogo stick was too hard, so you just got to skip it, and it felt like you were doing something.
You were doing something.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have looked at into this as an adult. I'm like, can I get an adult skip it or one that would fit over? I'd have to have like bound feet probably to get my foot in a. Like, do they make one that just like the circle, like it opens and latches around my ankle?
They give them to prisoners sometimes.
Yeah, I would love one.
You might have to go to prison.
Now, Justin, these last two, you put the pictures in.
Yes.
For these, and you've got to post these on social media. These two are so ingrained in my brain.
Tell me about it.
First the Velcro paddle catch set.
Oh my god. Everybody had one of those.
Everybody had it. They were all green and pink, right? That's
So
what ours was.
you know you're at a picnic when someone breaks these bad boys out.
If you didn't have Madden, you had these at least.
Uh-huh.
At least you had these.
It's 2 Velcro mitts and a
Mhm.
and a ball, like a
That's
tennis
it.
ball. And
It
yeah,
was
the
simple. It
the
was
like
simpler
neon
times.
pink and green. Amy, they still sell these, obviously. I
my
looked them
God.
up on Amazon. They're still the same colors.
Well, Justin, you don't mess with perfection. You
Yeah.
don't. Why would you need to change
It's
it?
so simple. It's so
Are
simple.
you going to get some of these? Are we going to play catch next time
That's
I'm
not
over?
a bad idea. I could do that.
Ooh.
Little Velcro catch in the backyard.
I
Some
haven't
horseshoes,
thrown a
perhaps.
I haven't thrown a ball in a long time. I feel like I would not be good at it.
Yeah, I think it would again just wreck your shit.
Yeah. That shoulder impingement would be like,
Amy,
"Ah."
yeah.
Yeah.
You would toss it gently to me and just totally
My
blow
arm
your
would fall
rotator
off.
cuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just
It would just right out of
it
the
would just
socket.
explode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I feel like the Velcro the Velcro paddle catch deserves an honorable mention because
Oh my
that was
God.
just talk about
Now,
classic.
in Florida, this is an all seasons game.
Sure, yeah.
Because it's never that cold. You
Right.
can be paddle catching in December. It's fine.
Sure. And we did, I'm sure.
And we did. Justin, please talk about the last one on our list of
The last
honorable
one I really
mentions.
put on here for honorable mentions, and I don't know how if this will be something that a lot of other people remember
I hope so.
or recognize. It was String Racer, and
God.
now what String Racer is it's like a shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
So you had like a line.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of an elaborate like hook and ball sort of thing. So it was a
Mhm.
shuttle that was on a line,
Okay.
and you had two big old balls,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had this on the bottom of the shuttle. There were these hooks, and you would have the balls on the ground, and then you would have to like glide the shuttle down the string and try to pick up the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think it's very.
It never worked the way that was always. It was promoted like you're making it fly through the air, and I'm like, no, it glides at best.
At best. At worst, you have a big goddamn tangled mess, and you're arguing and crying.
was
And your
always
parents have to
in a knot.
intervene.
It was always tangled.
Always.
Cheap plastic. So not a good toy, but I remember it very well from our childhood, and I'm
Kid
wondering if other
power.
people do. I'll post
Yeah.
pictures of all these.
Also,
on
the
social media.
exact same shades of green and pink as
Yes, the exact
Velcro,
same
the
shades.
exact same shades.
Neon green and pink. Those were the colors of summer toys, and of course the Super Soaker yellow and green.
Yeah.
Just neon.
And
Everything was
orange.
neon. So many of these pictures I got, the water bombs, they're neon colored.
Yeah.
Water balloons are always lots of different colors, but
I feel like when you look at like very stereotypical like decade stuff, like neon is always so like 80s coded, and I'm like
90s, man.
It's the 90s,
especially early
though.
90s. Honestly, like
I guess it was late
85
80s
to 95. That's the golden era of
neon
shit when we had like day glow stuff. Remember
Yes.
day glow? And the
Yes.
bracelets and oh my god, all these toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neon everywhere.
We used to be a country.
You know where you can see a lot of that neon is in some of the VHS rips that I've put up on our YouTube channel. See a lot of that in those commercials.
I see you dropping that plug.
Yeah, well, I'm plugging it up, plugging
Plugging
it
it up. Well, speaking of plugging it up,
Mhm.
do you want to do some plugs for this here podcast?
Sure, I can do that. If you're listening to this, congratulations, you found it. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
I bet your life is so much better now that you have found us.
Also on YouTube. I'll mention that again.
There you go.
If you want to follow us on social media, please do. We have a lot of fun on there talking with you guys. We are on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Cool Kids Club Pod. Also on Facebook, just search for Cool Kids Club Podcast. And if you want to follow us on our personal accounts, for whatever reason, I am on Instagram at Lousy with Ghosts, and Amy is at Amy on Instagram with 4 H's.
4 H's. There you go.
And I would be remiss, of course, if we didn't thank Brian Hayguys Wakefield.
There we go.
For our theme. Also, Cool Kid Clubhouse. My little nerdy.
Oh yeah.
Check that out too on Instagram. our little sister site where I highlight some of my nerdy collections.
Okay. All kinds of irons in the fire.
I know we're doing stuff. We're making moves.
Making moves. Stuff is happening. Season 4.
Yeah. Feeling it. And we've got we finally mapped out the next couple months of episodes because for the first time, it kind of got to where it was like, oh shit, we got like a couple weeks left. We don't know what's on the schedule.
Fear not, listeners. We got the rest of the year.
Yeah, we got some bangers.
We do have some bangers.
We got some good, fun stuff. I'm excited.
It's gonna be good. Yeah. I'm loving it. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Toys of Summer. Let us know, you a dry toy or a wet toy kind of kid?
Wet toy.
Did you break anything on the slip and slide?
Definitely, probably did.
Did you get eaten by the crocodile at the end of Crocodile Mile?
Did you get eaten by an actual crocodile?
We want to know. We want to hear from you. Did your legs fit into the Power Wheels, or were you a big giant freak like me? I want
just
to know.
A big old freak.
I want to like you were any shorter.
No. I just probably knew enough to be like, I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna put myself in that situation to be ridiculed publicly.
I didn't know that the end of the thing was gonna be the big wheel race, Justin. It was too late. I was already in it. It was happening. And guess what? I lost. Even though if I could have just ran, I'd have gotten there before anybody else because I was fucking 6 feet tall already. God damn it.
You got like your stride is so
I
huge.
was, oh my god,
like
I would have
Bigfoot.
been stepping over those kids and been like Godzilla.
But
anyway.
no, I had to get on the big wheel.
Big wheel. Kneeing myself in the face.
Well, regardless of your horrible big wheel experience, I've had a lot of fun talking about these summer toys. And I feel like we'll do this again because there's a lot more summer toys.
Oh yeah.
That we could talk about. We could do a whole series.
Wet, dry, the whole lot.
Wet, dry, moist, everywhere in between.
Oh, all right.
Some moist toys.
Oh God. All right, guys. Well,
I think that's our cue.
In this heat, I advise you to stay cool.
Yeah. Jump into poo. Stay cool.
I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You really flip your lid. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is.
Gee whiz!